Hello everyone, hello students, welcome to this second video of the fifth class of Strategic Management. During this class we are going to speak about the value chain. The value chain is a Porter analysis model. You have to remember Porter from the Porter's 5 forces analysis model. Well, Porter is one of the strategic management gurus, and as well he designed the value chain. The value chain could be defined as set of activities that a company carries out to create value for its customers. And the idea is that organizational processes and routines form the essence of capabilities. So, as you can see in the image, the value chain is formed by primary activities and support activities. Through the value chain, Porter analyzes what activities gives more value within an organization. Here you have a picture of a value chain of a company. As we have said, a value chain is a set of activities that a company carries out to create value to its customers. And Porter's divided the activities into two categories. First of all, those 5 concepts that we have below are the primary activities who have a direct impact in our product or service, the product or service that the company provides. And finally, the support activities, the activities above, the company infrastructure, the human resource, legal department, technology department, and so on. Those are indirect, they have indirect effect on the product or service that we provide. For example, when we speak about the primary activities, we speak about the inbound logistics, operations, outbound logistics, marketing, sales, and services. Just to put a couple of examples, when we are speaking about inbound logistics, we have to think on the quality of components and materials. When we are speaking about operations within a company, we have to think on defect-free products, wide variety. When we are speaking about outbound logistics, we have to speak about the fast delivery to customers, the efficient order processing. When we speak about marketing and sales, of course, we're speaking about the building brand reputation, for example. Well, and when we speak about the service, we are speaking about the customer technical support, for example, the consumer credit, availability of spares, and so on. And finally, when we speak about the support activities, we have the firm infrastructure, for example, in areas that support fast response capabilities. We are going to speak about the human resource management, for example, training to support customer services excellent, or we are going to speak about the technology department, unique product features, fast new product development. For example, the IT people or the legal department, or depending on the company, there are differences among the supporting activities of the value chain. So in this image, for example, you can see by the Porter's value chain which parts of your company create value for your customers. As you can see, it's divided in primary activities and secondary activities or support activities. And then at the right, you have the margin. And by doing a cost analysis, you are going to be able to know in which parts of the company you can reduce the budget, or each other parts you have to potentiate in order to increase the value to your customers. One of the main characteristics of the value chain is that it's a very useful tool to analyze cost within companies. Okay, so you have to think that the value chain is going to allow us to discover in which parts, in which departments, or in which systems, we are spending more money, and we can cut or invest in other parts of the company. For example, the value chain categorizes the company's essential group of activities. So the value chain is going to tell us what are the main group of activities within a company. The company's activities are divided into primary and secondary, as we have seen. Each activity in the value chain has a distinct cost structure determined by different cost drivers. So it's not the same the cost of the legal department than the cost of the marketing and sales department, the operations department, the logistics department. Okay, a company can identify and the relative importance of each activity with respect to the total cost. So we can know what's the total importance, the total cost of the marketing department, for example, which relate with the whole company, or we can know how much money are we spending on the human resources department, for example, and depending on how much money we're spending, we can know how sustainable it is, such department, or if we have to provide some kind of adjustment. Okay, and the value chain, through the value chain, it can be determined how cost in one activity influence cost in another. Finally, the value chain identify opportunities to reducing cost. So maybe by doing a value chain, we are aware that our human resource department, our legal department is spending a lot of money, and maybe it's not 100% useful to our company, and this is an opportunity to reducing cost within a company. Here we're going to see a brief explanation of the value chain by a professor, and I think that it's quite interesting.
Value is at the heart of every business. Your profit margin is the amount of value you can create, minus the cost of creating that value. So the greater the value and the lower your costs, the higher your profits will be. Understanding how your company creates value and looking for ways to add yet more value are critical to developing a competitive strategy. Michael Porter discussed this in his book, Competitive Advantage, in which he introduced the concept of the value chain. A value chain is a set of activities that an organization does to create value for its customers. Porter proposed a general purpose value chain that any company can use to examine all its activities and to see how they're connected. You can use his model to ask yourself where you can increase value or reduce costs, or both. Porter's value chain focuses on systems rather than departments or accounting cost types. It divides the activities in your system into two categories: primary and support. Primary activities relate directly to the creation, sale, maintenance, and support of a product or service. They include logistics, operations, and marketing. Support activities feed into one or more of the primary activities. They include human resources, procurement, and research and development. According to Porter, primary and support activities can be broken down into three types of sub-activity: direct, indirect, and quality assurance. Direct sub-activities can create value by themselves, while indirect sub-activities help other activities run smoothly. Quality assurance sub-activities help other activities keep to the required standard. Take a look at your primary and supporting activities and break them down into their sub-activities. Identify which sub-activities could give you the most value. For example, a high-performing team is essential to creating an excellent product or service. So hiring, training, and retaining exceptional people is a great way to add value. Once you've done this, you're ready to add even more value. You can do this by finding links between sub-activities. For example, improving your order turnaround time means you'll spend less time, effort and money fielding phone calls from frustrated customers. You may be able to reduce your costs and retain your people for longer, while also making life easier for your customers. And convenience and a good reputation are both forms of value. Porter's Value Chain is a useful strategic management tool for identifying where the greatest value lies in your organization and how you can increase it. For more on Porter's Value Chain, read the article that accompanies this video.
And we are gonna finish the video by speaking about how the value chain could be used to analyze cost, okay? And to, of course, reduce costs within companies. First of all, you have the sequence of analysis. You have to identify activities. You have to divide the value chain depending on the departments of your company, on the systems of your company, and then you have to allocate total cost of such departments, of such part of the company in each part of the value chain. Then you have to identify the cost drivers, identify the linkage, and identify opportunity cost reductions. Let's put a couple of examples. For example, when speaking on those parts of the value chain, the purchasing components and materials, component manufacture, assembly. In the next column, we have the cost drivers. Prices bought in components depend on order sizes, average value of purchases, the drivers, etc. So depending on the cost drivers of each part of the value chain, we have to perform a sequence of analysis, and therefore we are going to be able to identify opportunity cost of reduction, in which part of the companies are we spending more money than it would be necessary. Thank you very much, students. If you have any doubt or query, please do not hesitate to contact me through Canvas. Thank you.